Welcome, everybody. Listen, we're in a large room and it really echoes in here. So as we try to navigate through this meeting, let's be considerate that our voice might echo a little more than it would in a different type of room, but we're going to try to make it work. The light is pretty bad. I think I'm realizing that I might I think I'm going to start needing to wear glasses because I can't see the agenda. So I'm going to see if I can figure this out. But welcome, everybody. I see a lot of students. It's always exciting to have these types of meetings and in an open forum and in a high school and an elementary school. And I want to welcome all the students here. I know that you guys could be at home or you could be at the fair, right? I know my daughter's at the fair. So welcome. And obviously you're here for a very important reason, and we'll get to that. I'd like to call the meeting for Thursday, February 23rd, 2023, our regular board meeting to order at this time. I think it is about 3 minutes late, but can we get a call to order, Mari?
Roll call.
Yes, ma'am.
President Adonis Galarza Toledo. Vice President Jesus Gonzalez.
Present.
Clerk Jocelyn Vargas.
Present.
Joey Acuña Jr. Trinidad Arredondo.
Present.
Valerie Garcia.
Here.
Silvia Paz.
Here.
Student Trustee Germán Chavez. Thank you.
Good enough. I think we have a student that's going to lead us in the flag salute. Maribel, where are you at? Maribel Hernandez, thank you. Can you lead us in the flag salute, please?
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Dr. Valentino, and guests. My name is Maribel Hernandez, and I am the ASB representative to the school board here at CVHS. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Maribel. Thank you so much. I think we have Socorro Sanchez, our principal and staff and students from Coachella Valley High School. Socorro Sanchez.
Good evening, distinguished governing members of the board, executive cabinet members, and members of our community. We would like to welcome you all to Coachella Valley High School, home of the mighty Arabs. A home filled with caring, dedicated, and tenacious staff that is committed to providing a high-quality education along with relevant extracurricular opportunities, which you will get a glimpse of in just a few moments. This semester, we are excited to announce just a few of the great things that are happening here. Our special education team planned and held our first Growth Mindset Conference, where students had the opportunity to engage in 5 different sessions, which ended in students receiving a multitude of prize donations. Our career technical education academies and pathways held their intra-district advisory, including hosting visits from the state, a student-geared health fair, and numerous successful job shadowing experiences, as well as extracurricular opportunities. Our student advisory committee, along with our parent input and safety committee members, are actively collaborating in solution-based discussions to make the home of the mighty Arabs a safe and thriving environment. The following student-led presentations will give you a glimpse of our whole child approach and how beneficial instructional activities combined with extracurricular activities can create an inclusive environment where our students can thrive both inside and outside the classroom. To start us off, please welcome our Health Academy students facilitated by Mr. Simon Moore, followed by our EXLP CVHS dance team led by Mrs. Juliana Martinez. Enjoy.
Okay, so again, welcome. Thank you all for coming as well. And so what they're going to do is a real quick demo of CPR. When someone is down, that's one of the skills. Most people don't get these skills until they get into the adult workforce. And so now in our health academy, we have this model and they get CPR certified, first aid certified. So what they're going to demonstrate is a real brief scenario of someone being down, how they respond to them, how they apply AED, and how they correct the situation. And I'll hand it on over to the team.
Hello, hello, hello. All right. Yes. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Osmar Felix.
I'm Guillermo Carrillo.
My name is Josué Pimentel.
My name is Allison Lopez.
Today, we're going to be demonstrating you guys a CPR, I guess, situation. Right here, we have, I'm just going to be narrating. These two are going to be handling the situation. And so you guys like, you could begin.
So the scenario is, you're walking out in public, these three are walking around, they find somebody unconscious. Okay.
First thing we gotta do is make sure that the scene is safe. Checking, we're gonna say, safe, clear.
Scene is safe? He is not responsive. No pulse?
Get AED. Call 911 and get an AED.
Yes. She's starting compressions, 30 compressions for every 2 breaths. She's checking the pulse again. There's still no pulse, so we apply the AED. While we're waiting for the AED to be applied, she still continues compressions.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Like the AED just mentioned, after the shock, if there's still no pulse, no response, they continue with compressions.
Okay, and that is how the state of Richmond. So as you can tell, practice, it's all about practice, practice, practice. And so they're going to be competing in about a month in Sacramento, and we're so proud to have them as part representing our school district. Thank you.
Thank you, students. Thank you, principal, staff. Yeah. Oh, we have a dance team now? Okay.
Next up, we have Mrs. Juliana Martinez at EXLP Dance Team.
Really cool.
Wow, very fantastic. That was awesome. Thank you again. All right, next up, since we are in the house of the mighty Arabs, we also wanted to recognize this fantastic football team that the Arabs put together. Coach Espinoza, can you come on down right now? So Coach Espinoza, the team last fall, they won DVL League. They were undefeated in DVL League. They had a league record of 9-2. So Coach Espinoza is going to introduce the players. We'll give them the certificate. They'll stand up here in the front, and then we'll come up on the stage and take a picture. Coach Espinoza.
Thank you, board, for the privilege to be here, first of all. Person with a defibrillator, stay up here because I don't like talking in public, so I might go into shock. Just a couple of stats for our football season this year. On offense, we average 412 yards per game. And at the DVL, during league, we average 47 points per game. And then overall, we average 41 points per game. I'm not an offensive guy, I'm a defensive coach. So let me give you some defensive stats. On the defense, we had 11 interceptions, 12 fumble recoveries for a total of 23 turnovers. In league, we only gave up 8.2 points a game. And overall, we want to give up 15.31 points a game. So that's pretty good. As young men come up, I'm going to try to say a quick thing about them. This is Hugo Sandoval. Hugo was our quarterback. During his season here, he threw over 5,075 yards. Hugo's a senior, and we're gonna surely miss that young man. Next one is Aaron Ramirez. Aaron's only a sophomore. He's our running back. Beware DVL, because this young man can fly. Next up is Angel Martinez. Angel is one of our DBs. He's a senior, and this young man always has a smile on his face. No matter what the opponent's at, he's always smiling. Next one is Abraham Acuna. He's only a sophomore linebacker. He's also one of the elite wrestlers here at CV High School. Look for Abraham to be making some big hits next year. Next one is Ezekiel Galvan. Goes by Zeke. Zeke was a senior linebacker for me. You're talking about somebody I'm going to miss. I want to miss that young man. He had 2 interceptions this year, one against Yucca Valley and one against La Quinta. This young man is dear to my heart, Joe Montoya. I'm also the linebacker coach, and so these linebackers mean a lot to me because I see them every day. Joe averaged over 125 tackles for the last 2 seasons. Yeah, I'm gonna miss him. Next one is Manuel Nunez. Manuel came out kind of late this year, and he was an outside linebacker. He's a senior. I'm going to miss him. This young man played wide receiver. Adrian's junior. He's going to be back for us. Adrian De Leon. And he's also a fish swimmer, I guess. CV is going to have some great running backs. One you know is Aaron. That young man's only a freshman. He had 3 touchdowns as a freshman, and it's going to be lightning and thunder again like we had before. Ivan. This young man's his first year playing for me, Ethan Gonzalez, and he's a linebacker. Don't let the size fool you, because he likes to hit. Next young man's a wide receiver for us. He's a senior. We're gonna miss him. Michael Cruz Alaman. Sometimes you get to know people's nicknames and you don't get to know their real names. Like this young man here, I didn't know that this was his real name. I know him by Micah. This is Miguel Rodriguez. He's a wide receiver, sophomore. And this year, we're hoping to convert him to the dark side. So we're gonna try to have him play some DB for us. There's another one. Again, you get to know nicknames and you just don't really get to know their first name. We call this one JJ. His name is Jesus Mango. Wow. JJ was a wide receiver, but again, we converted him to the dark side this year. He played free safety for us. He had 6 interceptions. First year playing defense, and he had 6 interceptions. Next young man is another wide receiver, Daniel Amo. Daniel's also a sophomore coming back, so we got him for 2 more years. This is the heart of the offense here. He's our center. But before I say that, today's his birthday. If you guys will kind of help me lead in a happy birthday song for him. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brian. Happy birthday to you. You know, on behalf of Coach Johnson, they couldn't be here today. Like I said, it's a privilege for us to be here. We thank you for the opportunity to showcase our young men. Again, we were 9-2 this year. The 2 losses we had were one CIF champion. It was Palo Verde. This is the 2nd year that they won CIF. And the other one was Diamond Bar that went to the finals and lost by a touchdown. So the person that these young men lost to were no joke. So thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
As the kids are leaving, I think what becomes obvious is Ryan, first of all, Ryan, you shouldn't have told anybody it was your birthday. You wouldn't have been embarrassed. And I'm going to tell Coach Espinoza, maybe JJ gets a chance to play on the offense. He, with those 6 interceptions, he really wants the ball. I just want to say as they're leaving that success in programs like this are not because of practicing football. I think what's obvious is the relationship and the personal relationship that coaches build with their kids, understanding what they might be facing at home, understanding what might be going on in their lives outside of what they're doing here at the high school. And I think when you can touch a kid like that and make a difference in their life, they're going to give you everything that they have. And I think that's an example of what Coach Espinoza and the rest of the staff, starting with the principal, obviously the athletic director, a very special person in the work that he's doing. And I think that has passed on all the way into the office with Raquel and obviously it ends with the kids, but great job here at CV High School. We're proud of you. Item 6 on the agenda is closed session. I understand we have some public comments in closed session, and I'm going to go ahead and read the message that I need to read. Introductory comments and requests to address the board on the adopted agenda will be considered from the audience at this time. Please complete a request to address the governing board form and hand it into the recording secretary. The online forms submitted electronically will be read. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Speakers will not be able to concede their time to other speakers. The maximum time on each subject matter is 20 minutes. Additional, the person making the request should state his, her name and name of the organization or group represented. Please be advised that the board is not always at liberty to answer questions right away. State law prohibits the board from taking actions on items not listed on the agenda. Mari, do you want to help us with that?
Yes, sir. The electronic one, there was one submitted electronically. I'll read that one first.
Okay.
Sandra Ramirez, CV Parents. En Spanish. Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva y superintendente, Dr. Valentino. Mi comentario es por el hecho de que vi en la agenda que hay 3 casos de suspensión. Eso no es restaurativo. Me gustaría ver 0 casos de suspensiones. También observé que apenas se va a presentar la línea de tiempo del LCAP. Ya con tantos años de experiencia, ya deberíamos de recibir la línea de tiempo en diciembre y en febrero comenzar los foros públicos. Gracias, que pasen bonito resto del día. English, good afternoon, board members and Superintendent Dr. Valentino. My comment is due to the fact that there are 3 suspension cases on the agenda. That is not restorative. I would like to see 0 cases of suspensions. I also noticed that the LCAP timeline is just about to be presented. With so many years of experience, we should have received the timeline in December and in February start the public forums. Thank you. That was the only one submitted.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into closed session.
President, there was some that were submitted that are here now. Do you
Am
want
I-
those names?
am I
Yes,
announcing?
Just read the names out.
You get the light on because I can't,
Do you want me to read the names out?
yeah, please. Thank you.
Leander Lavajo, if you could go up to the podium. Leander, thank you.
Check. Good afternoon. My name is Leander Labajo. I'm a senior here at Coachella Valley. I'm a senior here at Coachella Valley High School, getting ready to serve our country in the United States Navy. If I am willing to fight and to protect this country, you should be willing to protect us at school. I am here in front of you today to discuss the present state of our school. Please excuse my impolite proposal, but who among you here truly cares about our lives and our safety? Who among you aims to defend our school? Despite the fact that our school is over a century old and in need of renovations, it currently receives little to no funding from our district. Where does that money go? Our school's frequent rate of drug use and violent incidents is yet another cause for concern for our safety. I wish you could put yourself in our position and understand our frustration. You never know what someone is going through until you stand in their shoes. So be an adult and take a chance to send in ours. It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to rebuild our school and have resource officers on deck during school hours, as well as health counselors to support our students' mental health. I will conclude by sharing with you as a quote that inspired me to stand here today. When you deprive people of their right to live in dignity, to hope for a better future, to have control over their lives, when you deprive them of that choice, then you expect them to fight for these rights. That is all. Thank you for your time.
Twenty seconds left. Next student, Mia Linda Ramirez.
Good evening, board members, and thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to call out and call to attention that Mr. Galarza wasn't here. We were kind of hoping that he would be here because he promised us last time that he would be here. So sorry. Mr. Galarza said that he wanted to fight for the students. How can you guys do that when you guys don't listen to the students that are standing in front of you, telling you how to change the school? You said it was your moral obligation to support higher education within the community. How can you focus on higher education when you aren't even paying attention to the schools you lead? You ignore the safety of your students, or worse, you hear and see them begging for you to change and choose to do nothing about it. You ignore your valued teachers that spend the day teaching students, but it goes way beyond that. The district is losing its valuable teachers, the teachers that spend their time after school, before school, during school, their lunches, their free periods, and days off. And days off, ensuring that their students are taught well so we, as students, can succeed in life. If the district board was willing to take action earlier, we would not have to be afraid. We would have never had to worry about losing our incredible teachers. We would have never had to fight for an education that is a given right. Thank you.
Desiree Bravo.
Did we hear the next speaker? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Desiree Bravo, and I'm a senior from Coachella Valley High School. You might remember me from last board meeting, or you might not. Today I'm speaking about the incidents that happened on our campus and how nothing has changed. On February 6, 2023, a student was found with the possession of 4 razor blades and a 6-inch dagger. What are you going to do to protect us? On February 7th, 2023, a firework was set off and had caused damage to one of the school's restrooms due to Due to this, the restroom was closed, as if all of the other restrooms are never locked or closed for some other reason. Who's trying to put an end to this? On February 9th, 2023, there was 2 separate reports, one about a missing purse and a separate report for a missing wallet and money. What could you have done to change this? On February 10th, around 1:55 p.m., a student was returning to her classroom near the portables when a student began to approach her. This student overheard another student mentioning a gun. What did you do, or what would you do after finding this out? On February 17th, 2023, a student notified administration because of the presence of scissors and a 2-inch knife that another student was carrying. What could you have stopped? No, what could have stopped this incident? There has been a total of 5 cases, not including the other, sorry, hold on. There has been a total of 5 cases, not including the incident of informing the community about the gun that was caught on campus. And these 5 cases were caught in a span of 2 weeks. What are you gonna do to make us feel safe on this campus? How are you gonna say that this is a safe campus? And you guys also said that there is a 4-2 vote in 2018 saying that you guys don't want a security resource officer or a school resource officer or a sheriff on campus because you stated that this will make our school feel like a prison. But after all of these incidents happening at our school causes law enforcement to be on our campus frequently, sometimes even several times a week. So what would be the difference in changing this? Don't think of this as a board member's point of view. Think of this as a parent's point of view. Don't you fear that your own child's safety is more important? It's disappointing that we as a community can come and make efforts to be here at this board meeting, but I don't see some of your other colleagues here making a change. Thank you.
Andrea Cortez.
Hello, I am Andrea Cortez. I am a freshman. How do you, as board members, expect us as students to listen and respect you, but you refuse to listen to us, and you have lied to us saying that you want to fight for students, but nothing has changed in the school system to protect us in any way or make us feel safe. Us students have voices, are willing to use them, but you are an adult, need to listen and learn to use your ears. This is my second board meeting I've attended 2, and you still haven't listened to us. Make a change. I don't know why or what it will take to make a change or to get your attention. I find it sad that teachers as one person make it more of a change that have more of any impact on our lives to make us feel safe, because you won't. What are you gonna do for us? What are you gonna do to help us as students and teachers?
Unique Huereta.
Sir, you're out of order.
Unique Huereta.
She's not here.
Thank you. Ashley Aro.
Hello, my name is Ashley Addo. I'm a senior here in CV High School. And due to the recent action taken by teachers going on strike, it has taken a big toll on the students because many of us stay after school for extracurricular activities. And since teachers now no longer stay after school, we can no longer get the education that we stay for and take time out of our day to. After school for those extracurricular activities such as club events, practices, and especially after-school tutoring. I believe that those who educate us and take the time out of their day to stay after school deserve that 10% raise. I've also recognized that many of my peers feel that their safety is not prioritized here in CV High School. And I'm also one of those people who believe that my safety is also not a priority, especially after what occurred when a loaded firearm was found in a student's backpack. So I hope that after this meeting, you can all recognize that us students have voices. Thank you.
Adrian Lopez. Adrian Lopez.
Hello, and I would like to introduce myself as Adrian Lopez, and I would greatly appreciate this time to tell you about all the lack of security that we have been faced with. And due to the fact that we have been found students with guns, razors, knives, we have not given any security to any of the students. How are we supposed to feel safe in a school when we have no lack of futures or a chance to see a tomorrow? We are found students with guns, knives, razors. This is not what we're supposed to find in school. We're supposed to find books, education, and a healthier future.
Maribel Solís. Teacher Maribel Solís.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, colleagues, students, parents, and members of this community. My name is Maribel Solís. My children have gone to Coachella Valley Unified School District schools, and I myself am a product of this school district, starting with elementary school at Oasis and finishing as a proud CVS High alumnus. I also happen to be a teacher at Mecca Elementary School and have taught in this district for 17 years. I chose to become a teacher and more specifically, teach in the district that I am a product of because I know firsthand how important and life-changing a quality public education can be for our students. I stand before you today to tell you that my students' education matters to me and it should matter to you. I question if you truly understand or care about our students in this district. I say that because if you did, you wouldn't have teachers organizing and rallying in support for a fair contract. Bargaining in good faith and supporting a fair contract for teachers directly benefits the students of this district. The students in our district deserve the very best. And while I may be nervous in speaking before you tonight, I felt it necessary because our students, these students right here, deserve to have people speaking up for them. And I am here tonight to do just that. Attracting and retaining quality educators should be a top priority for this district. Our district historically has had a difficult time filling vacancy, and the district's ability to fill positions is inextricably linked to pay. When we provide a higher salary than both neighboring districts, then we start the year fully staffed. When we don't pay more, we are left with positions that cannot be filled. The data is there if you have not already seen it. Please understand how negative the impact is for students who do not have a permanent teacher and have to endure multiple subs for the year. Those of us at school sites see this negative impact on students And you, the school board, have the power to change that. I hope you understand how and why educators come to our district. Do you know what educators are looking for when they choose a district to teach in? I do, because I talk with my colleagues and college students in teacher preparation programs regularly. They want to work in a district where they can have an impact on students, and Coachella is a district where they can have a considerable impact on students. I love working with my students at Mecca, and I'm sure every single one of my colleagues here tonight loves working at their site. Having said that, as I mentioned previously, okay. All right.
Jennifer Casales.
Thank you.
Jennifer Casales.
Glasses on.
Hello, board members, superintendent, colleagues, students, parents, and community members. My name is Jennifer Casals, and I teach language arts and AVID at Bobby Duke Middle School. It should come as no surprise that students are directly impacted when we are unable to provide them all with talented teachers. Last year at Bobby Duke, half of our 7th grade students had numerous long-term substitute teachers covering their language arts class. These students went an entire year without the benefit of a credentialed permanent teacher. This year, some of those same students are again in an 8th grade language arts class, currently being taught by a long-term sub. In addition to the ELA position, we still have vacancies at Bobby Duke in ELD and math. Despite this, our students have been improving and test scores have been slowly creeping up. Imagine what our students can do if we gave them what they deserved: an education with fully qualified, talented teachers. While being understaffed obviously impacts our students, it also affects our staff. Teachers are tired. We're being asked to close an educational gap our district is creating. In addition to the increased expectations, we have in our classes, we are asked to sub for other absent teachers. Teachers are doing a lot to compensate for the high number of vacancies we have in our district, but it is not sustainable. Things need to change, and that change comes with ensuring that all teaching positions are filled. I think it's important to understand that when teachers are demanding a 10% increase, it's not to line our own pockets. In truth, the extra 2% would be hardly noticeable. The 10% we want is to help make our school district more attractive. A brand new teacher with a master's would be hired in our district with a salary of $65,610. At Desert Sands, that teacher would be offered $67,269. Palm Springs would come in a little lower than our district at $64,492. However, after 4 years with no lateral movement on the salary schedule, that same teacher would be making about $71,500 with us, just over $78,000 with Desert Sands, and almost $80,000 with Palm Springs. The salary inequities only get worse with more experience and education. We are not competitive at all. Even if we can hire teachers, our salary schedule is encouraging them to leave our district within 5 years. Our students deserve better. Thank you.
Last one, Yolanda Corona. Yolanda Corona.
We're calling up our last speaker on this subject matter before we go into closed session. I'm looking out at the audience and I'm sitting in for our chair. I grew up in this community And I find it, I see the excitement, right? And I see the vigor and the organizing. I'm just gonna ask honestly, as adults, right? As examples to the children that are here, that you be mindful of the fact that we have order in our. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for understanding.
I think you would have done a better job, Joey. Good evening, everyone. I've been away for a while, focusing on my education. But what brings me here is a sight of these students kneeling in front of you guys. That is not acceptable. And Joey, you know that I always stand up for that. Against bullies, against these kids right here. Here's Joey there. He was in CV High School. Hema. All you guys have kids. You as parents, would you allow your kids to kneel in front of other board members to ask, to plead for you to give them a safe environment? And yes, this is personal because you represent these kids. You cannot close your eyes to this. And that's what brought me here today. Because that, to me, is criminal. There's a lot of things brought to your attention tonight. But I hope, because you also have children that went to this district, because you were born and raised here, that you also see that these kids want to provide a safe environment for them. They want to come here and to look at their eyes. They're in tears, Joey. They're in tears right now, asking you for a safe environment. Why aren't you the president? This board needs leadership. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to go into closed session? So moved.
So moved.
And a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you all. Okay, are we all back? Joey? Okay. Okay, guys, we're gonna get started, moving back. Hello? Did we get this right, guys? Hello? Can I get a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion, and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Can we get an update on the announcements in closed session?
Yes, we have a couple. Board took action during closed session to appoint Maria McLeod to the position of Director of Title IX and Compliance effective February 24th on this 23rd day of February 2023. Motion was made by Trustee Gonzalez, seconded by Trustee Acuña. The motion carries 6-0. The board took action on the following closed session item: approved expulsion case number 22/23 012 for stipulated expulsion. Motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Acuna. Motion was carried 6-0. The board took the following action in closed session, approved expulsion case number 22/23-011 for stipulated expulsion. Motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Acuna, and it carried 6-0. Approved expulsion case number 22. The board took action on expulsion case number 22/23-010 for expulsion recommendation. Motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Motion was carried 6-0. The board took the following action during closed session to approve the settlement agreement of employee number 2023-08/472 effective February 6, 2023 on this 23rd day of February 2023. Motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Acuna. Motion was carried 6-0. The board took action during closed session under item, I don't have the item number. The board voted to approve the February 23rd, 2023 10-day settlement offer. Like, do I read the whole thing? 20 USC section final I settlement agreement and general release resolving a matter for parents, OAH case number 2020-090705 on this 23rd day of February 2023. Motion was made by trustee Paz, seconded by trustee Arredondo, and the motion was carried 6-0. Sorry. The board took action during closed session under item, don't have the item number here. The board voted to approve the February 23rd, 2023 10-day settlement offer, settlement agreement and general release resolving a matter for parents case number 0202-23-2023 on this 23rd day of February 2023. Motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Garcia. Motion was carried 6-0. That was it. Thank you.
Jocelyn, thank you for that. That was a lot of them. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda submitted? I'll motion. Can I get a second?
So moved.
I got a motion and a second. All
Second.
those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Mari, public comments? We have one? Okay, introductory comments and requests to address the board on items on the adopted agenda and items. Wow, I apologize, guys. And items not on the adopted agenda will be considered from the audience at this time. Please complete the request to address the governing board form and hand it over to the recording secretary. The online form submitted electronically will be read. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes per person, and speakers will not be able to concede their time to other speakers. The maximum time on each subject matter is 20 minutes. Additionally, the person making the request should state his, her name, and the name of the organization and group represented. Please be advised that the board is not always at liberty to request to answer questions right away. State law prohibits the board from taking actions on items not listed on the agenda. Mari, you want to help us, please? My mic is on.
We can't hear you.
I don't want to touch it. Oh, there you go.
Hello.
You can hear me now. Okay, I'm Christine Gonzalez.
Welcome.
Excuse me?
I said welcome.
Thank you, sir. And thank you. I am a teacher at Valley View. I am a CVTA member, and I am also a past parent. My daughter graduated from CV High School in 2017. So this announcement is for Jesus Gonzalez. I'm sure you realize by making Yolanda Corona wait to speak that your statements during public comments were a violation of the Brown Act. In fact, this board has violated the Brown Act at several meetings, and this will be reported. I'm sorry, this will be reported as well as all other future violations. Thank you.
Thank you. Maria, is that all we have?
That was all, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have any written communications?
None,
Okay, do we have a student trustee? We don't have a student trustee, thank
not
God today.
tonight, no.
Wonderful. Board member reports. We'll start with Ms. Paz. Wow.
There,
There you go,
okay.
Maria. I mean, Maria, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few as we transitioned over to closed session. I wanted to let the students know what I'm going to share right now is that at CB High School, we did start a conversation about safety before the winter break. We had teachers represented, we have security classified represented, we have admin, students, and board members. I think more than at the time when we started, right? It's very obvious why we do need to have and continue those conversations and be as inclusive as we can to get the diverse student voice and the diverse teacher voice, because we hear on the one case, right, what safety might look like for some, and then on the other side of the spectrum, what safety looks for others. And I think at that first meeting, one of the takeaways was that we wanted to define safety and we wanted to understand what safety looks like and then what will it take for us to work towards that. Unfortunately, the second meeting, I was sick with COVID, so I couldn't attend. But I do think that, again, it's time for us to, we can reconvene and move forward. I know in a check-in that I had with Ms. Socorro, there are conversations that she's continued on the campus. And I just want to stress the need that, again, that we're hearing from all the different perspectives, not only one of them. And I know we have the right partners at the table who were committed to help us do that. So just wanted to give that update and again, stress that we continue those conversations. Dr. Valentino, at the time that is appropriate. Thank you.
Ms. Paz, thank you. Mr. Cunha? You're way over there, man.
You have to hold it for like a second.
Wow.
Trying to tell me something, I don't know. No, I like it over here, so when they start throwing stuff, it's, you guys are easier targets over there. No, first of all, let me thank Principal Sanchez and the kids who came out today. They were great. The Health Academy kids, I've seen them in action in other areas. That was kind of a, just a demonstration, but I've actually seen them out in the community participating in events and actually doing a lot of those things. So thank them and obviously Mr. Moore, who's I believe done a great job, and that whole academy has done really good. It's one of the things that a lot of other people in the valley always talk to us about, the kids that are out there and stuff. A lot of our academies, but obviously they're participating in a lot of health events, of which I'm a part of as well because of my work. So I get to see them out there. So great job to them. And then what can I say about the dance team? We were talking about how that what you see today didn't start this year. It started years and years ago by Juliana, and started in the ACES program. I always like to brag about the ACES, but that's where she started. But look at where the program is today. And while they were great today, I think for me, the culmination of that was when we were in San Diego at the California School Boards Association, where they performed in front of everyone in the state, all the board members for the state. That was something to say that these are our kids, and they were great. Everybody was talking about them. They were one of the highlight performances of that conference. So kudos. Principal Sanchez and obviously all the staff and the team that put that together. I'm going to be brief. Everybody talked today and everybody has an opinion. I have one as well. I've made mine pretty clear over the time. Just to say that everybody has an opinion and I respect everybody's opinion. they're not facts. They're not, nobody's a mind reader. But I have an opinion of what I think is going to happen. Other people have an opinion on what they think is going to happen. I have an opinion as to what I believe competitiveness means, and others have a different view of what that is. It's not wrong or right. It's just our opinion. So I'll leave it at that. And finally, I do want to mention that, you know, in going to talking to some of the schools and some of the programs that are out there, I think, you know, there's a lot to be said about what our kids do good. A lot of things we do wrong too. So we got to admit that we do wrong things too. But I think sometimes we forget that one gentleman made the comment, I believe it was the young man said here that, you know, us as, or maybe it was the young woman, us as a parent, I would remind people that when I voted against the sheriff's department, my son was in the school district at the time. I was a parent. So I had those same things. And again, I've made it very clear that I'm not going to vote to bring them back. I'll more than happy to support, you know, enhancing our security here, more training, more ideas of how to protect CV High School. But I do make those decisions as a parent, as a board member. And so just sometimes people forget that we also went through this system and we were here too. And again, I don't believe anybody's right or wrong. I think I have an opinion and I'll vote my opinion and based on that. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Acuna. Board Member Vargas?
I'll be brief, but I want to thank everybody who provided public comment tonight. Really, you know, listen to everyone's perspective and comments, and really do hold them, you know, listen to what's being said by everyone. The only thing I wanted to share, I got the opportunity, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks, it seems like forever ago. I do want to acknowledge and thank Lydia. I don't know her last name right now. Like, but Lydia, you know, worked with LA Galaxy to create an opportunity for our migrant students. And it was just such a great experience to see, you know, a soccer player from that same background, being able to share their experience with our students and our SOE migrant students. And it was just a really great opportunity for everyone to kind of hear their perspective. But really thank Lydia and the staff who put that together. You know, our students got to do a soccer clinic with LA Galaxy team members. And so it was just a really great experience. So I was happy to be able to represent the board at that event. But yeah, thank you to staff for all they do and all the work that they've been doing. Thank you. I did get a jersey. I have to wear it. I'll be wearing it next time.
Board Member Garcia? Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. I first wanted to say that it's very nostalgic to be here. I was a theater kid while I was here at CV High, so it was awesome to see this, see our students performing both in the medical program and with the dance team again. That was amazing. They shine every time they show their skills. I also want to say that my thoughts and prayers are out to the families that are displaced in the Salton Sea communities, our students and teachers that had a loss of learning days. You know, we're going to work to get that back. And I hope that they're finding the services they need in our facilities. I had the opportunity to go to my first Culture and Climate Committee and was very happy to hear the services that are being rendered for our students in the wellness centers. I'm happy to hear that we have students who are going to repeat services, which is excellent because it shows that they are getting something and are going back. I'm also very happy to hear that they are teaching social emotional skills, and those are things that our students are going to be able to utilize throughout their adult lives. I was very happy to hear about the chill out space. I think the earlier you learn that the higher your emotions, the better the idea it is to kind of take a step back, breathe, get to a calmer place, and then continue your day. So that's excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. That's all happening. As far as the public comments that we heard, I recognize you students that were here. I counted 20 plus. I recognize some of you from the last session and I see that you're still here. So we hear you and we are having conversations. So I promise you're being heard. As far as everything else, we are having discussions. They continue as the process works, right? That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Arredondo?
Thank you, Vice President Gonzalez. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that was here, teachers, students, staff. It's good to see everybody. I'd like to thank the dance team and Simon Moore's Health Academy students that were here. Great job. I also want to thank Lydia Rodriguez as well, who brought out a memo from the Galaxy. I mean, he had such a special message for our students, and it was great to be here and be part of just listening to him and talking to our students. I mean, great message. I hope he can come back. I also want to recognize the 4-H team that's going to be having their auction at the Day Festival this Saturday. So I hope that some of us can attend that and be there with our students. I also like to thank CDA, Bobby Duke, and Toro Canyon for inviting me to your career days. I wasn't able to make at Cahuilla Desert Academy, so I want to apologize because I wasn't able to be there. And I'll be at Toro Canyon tomorrow morning. And I want to thank Michelle Galarza for inviting me to Bobby Duke as well. So that, you know, it's always great to be a part of the career days. I also like to acknowledge, you know, the 76 power poles that are down in the easternmost part of the valley, where power has not been restored. And I hope that it happens quickly, especially for our most vulnerable families that live in that area. So I hope that, and I know that we've opened up our facilities, and thank you everybody for working with us to make sure that we provide the services out there. Secondly, I just want to say to everybody here, thank you for being here, lending a voice. And once again, Dr. Valentino, I'm going to ask as a board member that we be provided with a report on the cost of having resource officers on our campus as we continue to have these issues. I've always have been an advocate. I've been consistently advocating for us to have resources, but it doesn't mean that we are not doing things and moving in the right direction as a district. So I do visit the wellness centers. I do see that we're doing things, we're doing good things, but I also see that we are in different times, and some of our, you know, you know, I visit a lot of our schools. I visited schools in the morning every day. So I like to call for a report on the cost of resource officers across our school. With that, I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I'm confident that in the future we will have resolution with what we need to do moving forward. Thank you.
I'm going to do something out of the ordinary. I'm going to put you where you're going to go next, and I'll go last, please. Sure. Microphone.
Good evening, everyone. As was shared by Mr. Arredondo, one of the things that we're being challenged by this week is the winds in the East Valley. And so we had to close our West Shores High School and CV Elementary School. So our teachers have been in professional development today and tomorrow. But the expectation is that we reopen our doors on Monday. Whether or not IID has wired us up, our contingency plan is generator that actually will work, one generator per each one of the schools. So we're going to be ready to return. So we're excited about that because we know the impact of our students being out for 3 days. And so we will get back to that by Monday. In the meantime, thank you to staff or district office staff who've been out at schools covering for any shortage that there has been on many of our campuses. And so we thank you for that, because we know then you come back and you do your work after hours. So thank you. One of the things I really want to acknowledge is the hard work that Ms. Sanchez and her staff have done to address a lot of the concerns that teachers have shared around what we have and have not done. to ensure that we keep our students safe. And there is a laundry list of things that have become visible to folks. And so I think what we have to do is to communicate better what those things are, beginning with student discipline and the consequences of behaviors, for example. There is incredible evidence of the work that's being done. There's a lot more that does need to get done, but there are multiple efforts from multiple places where the support is coming from to address a lot of those things. And so that is due to the leadership of Ms. Sanchez at this high school and the leadership of every principal at our other schools. So thank you for that. And that's all I have, Mr.
Thank you, Dr. Valentino. I too want to, I met Socorro some time ago when my daughter, who is now 25, off in her own professional career, you're somebody that touched her life, and she's gone on to do some amazing things, including getting in an airplane this morning, and for some whatever ridiculous reason flew to Seattle because the flights were cheap. But she's in Seattle right now. But yeah, Socorro, thank you for what you do here. Thank you to your staff. Welcome back. It's exciting to see you as part of the team. And I just got to tell you, the children or the kids up on the stage were amazing. And then seeing the relationship between the coach and his athletes, those guys are doing an amazing job. And I think the results of how they win football games is indicative of that. As you know, I have a junior here, right? And whether I like it or not, I got to bring her to school until I can trust her enough to buy a car, right? Or buy her a car. And so you guys see me quite a bit here. I try to stay close. It's exciting to me when I wake up because I live right down the street and I can hear the pep rallies like if I was sitting on the stadium floor, right? And so, yeah, there's a lot of school spirit here. You feel it. The children are doing some amazing things in the area of science, in the area of education. And I know that my daughter stays very, very busy, and it's just exciting for me. With that being said, I also realize the reality of where we're at as a country and the unfortunate fear that we live in. And I don't take that lightly. I obviously, as a parent and having my other two children, as I graduated from this high school, those are things that are on my mind all the time. I have a great confidence that our community will prevail, that we're going to continue to be successful in our imperfection. And I have great hope and great confidence that we're going to continue to do a great job here and across the school district, because I know that each and every one of us up here on the board cares to the bare root of who we are every day we wake up. I wanted to share also that I was and have been part of the spelling bee. Even as an adult, I get nervous for the kids. It's funny. I'm the bee master guy. I don't do much. I just kind of watch the clock, but it's really nice to watch the kids participate and you know, the list of words sometimes is puzzling to me. They're not terms that we use every day in Coachella, but the kids have done an amazing job, and it's always nice to be a part of that. I did also want to thank each and every one of our staff and cabinet that reached out to me during a time of hardship. I've missed 2 board meetings. It's kind of unlike me, but I had 3 deaths in the family in a short period of time, and it's those times we know we're all going to go. We're mortal, and as we celebrate birth, we celebrate death. We're just never ready for it. So I had to deal with that, and the strength that was given to me by each and every one of you that reached out to me. I want to thank you all for that. And it's kind of weird to be up here as the board member. Donnie's in his celebration probably of some business and his birthday. He put me up here, but thank you all for being here tonight. And we're going to move on with the agenda. Graciela, I think you got the floor on some LCAP timeline updates. There she is. I was looking for her. I knew you were here somewhere.
I'm right here.
There you go.
All right, so good evening, board members, Dr. Valentino, cabinet, and our guests. Thank you for being here. So in response, and because it is an obligation, we have worked to establish a timeline for our LCAP. And so what I will be sharing with you today is the efforts that we will put in place so that we can actively engage our educational partners in this endeavor, starting with a plan that begins on March the 1st and carries all the way to July 1st, which is when it is due to Riverside County Office of Education. So I know all of you here are aware of what the purpose of the LCAP is, but for any of our guests, our attendees that are watching from home, just to briefly reiterate, the purpose of our LCAP is to provide a 3-year plan that describes our district's goals, our actions, our services, and the expenditures to support what we will be providing for our students in alignment with state and local priorities. So this is an opportunity for us to really tell our story of how, what, and why we have the programs in place that we do and how we're going to meet the needs of our students and our community, right? At CVUSD, we have 3 goals that are centered around the 8 state priorities. So the first goal is that we are saying we are providing a safe, positive, and respectful school environment and culture for all students and staff. So as you know, we have centered services and actions around this particular goal. And our goal between now as we continue is to really take in input from our stakeholders to evaluate what we have services that we're offering right now and look for ways to continue to improve, because it is a cycle of continuous improvement. Goal number 2 is to for our students to be prepared to leave our district with academic, career, and social emotional skills needed to achieve their personal and professional goals. And last but not least, that we're making a commitment to increase engagement and collaboration among students, parents, staff, and community members. And so like I mentioned already, the 8 state priorities, you can see how they complement the goals that we've identified as a school district. The LCAP has the components that you see up on the screen, one of them being how it is that we engage our educational partners. And so by listening to the feedback that we have already been receiving through our board meetings, through the LCAP advisory meetings that we have, in general, feedback that we're receiving from our educational partners, we hear you. We realize that perhaps we need to improve the way that we are engaging our members. And so that is going to be a priority for us. So one of the ways that we will do this, as I mentioned, is by putting a series of actions in place that will begin at the beginning of March. However, I do want to point out that even though the timeline on the screen says March 1st, we've already actively been working with our LCAP advisory committee, which in just a moment, I'll provide a little bit more clarity as to who is a part of that committee. But moving into this next phase will allow us to work with our broader audience so that we make sure that we capture their feedback. The first thing that we will be doing moving forward is to engage our educational partners in a survey through our Thought Exchange platform. It is an online survey that our families can complete. However, we're also very aware that some of our families, some of our partners may not feel comfortable or have access to completing it online. So we will also have a paper version available. We are working with our Thought Exchange partner to identify the best way to collect data. We're looking at already surveys that they have in place, but of course we understand that we have to make adaptations so that we capture the data as it's relevant to our school district in support of our goals. So we are looking to obtain input from staff, from students, from parents, and from community partners. And that survey will be open between March 1st and March 30th. So we are going to share this information through our website, our social media, our schools will do the same, and we will have the paper version available also at the school sites, because the goal is that we're able to obtain a comprehensive understanding of what our community is seeking.
So you heard me talk about the LCAP Advisory Committee. Our next meeting is March 21st. I believe this is our third meeting of the year. And the members of the advisory committee are representatives of stakeholder groups. So we have parent representatives, for example, from DLAC, from DPAC. We have CBTA representatives. We have CSEA representatives. We have representatives from some of our community partners. So they come to our meetings and they are the voice. They carry the topics that are important and relevant from their groups. They bring them to our meetings. We've been sharing data about services and actions that we have. And then just recently, by continuing to be attentive to what we're hearing that we also want to understand how the funding is allocated to the different services. So we will be sharing some of that information during the March 21st meeting. And so when we meet, there is still about a week left before the survey closes. So we will have our representatives that attend this particular meeting to remind the group that they represent that if they have not had a chance to complete the survey, that they please do so. So they'll have some time. And during this time, it's a live survey, so we can begin to collect data already. So when we have this meeting, we can already begin to share some preliminary data to identify some of those topics that are important to our community. And we can begin to identify perhaps what our public forum sessions will be, as well as continue to obtain input from the members from this advisory committee. The next step would be to have public forums. A few years back, this was a practice that as a district we were engaging in, where we had in-person sessions, where we went to the community so that we would be as accessible as possible. Our goal is to go out to the Salton Sea area, to the Mecca area, and to the Coachella area. More than likely, because this has to happen after that survey closes, we're thinking it would be that first week of April before we go on spring break. So it will be, I'm letting my team know that it will be 3 days back to back to back, and then a board meeting, but it'll be a great opportunity to capture and be able to engage with our different partners. So the idea at that point would be to share some of that data that we captured through the survey, to go a little more in depth on the topics and the services that were identified, and through our engagement, continuing to allow our public. So again, this is a larger audience, right? Continuing to allow an opportunity for additional input to be obtained. So we know how to refine, perhaps even add additional services or actions that we're identifying throughout the process. After the LCAP forum, we would have from April 10th to about May 2nd to take into consideration what we've collected, so that we can begin to preliminary put that information into the LCAP and submit it to the county. So once we submit, it would need to go by May 3rd, and we would be able to get it back by May 8th with feedback. So the county would sit down with us. They would guide us through, if they feel that the plan is solid, if it needs to be augmented, if it has some areas that need further development, we would get that feedback from them. We would have an opportunity to refine. And then our goal would be that on May 11th, that is the only board meeting that we have right now in May, that we would have an informational meeting presented to you and to our audience members, so that the following time that we meet in June, we have the public hearing. So we would go ahead and post our plan in both languages on our district website, so that our public, when we do have that public hearing, they're able to provide feedback. And then the goal would be to approve it during June 22nd, so that we could submit to the county on July 1st. So it's a pretty detailed plan. We worked it backwards from July 1st. And I just want to say that we have been engaging with our stakeholders early on, but we do realize the need and the importance to also involve our community at a larger level. And so the public forums, were really encouraging our groups to participate and to provide their feedback at that point.
Yeah, you're good? Okay.
I just have a
Mr.
quick-
Redondo, you have something? You have
Yeah,
something,
I
Josh?
just wanna,
Okay, Trini, it's you.
we get asked all the time, oh, the LCAP, again, it's the same thing. And so I would like to see if we can provide some of the key things that we've done over the 3 years. As kind of like a fact sheet as to how the LCAP has kind of changed, like with the wellness centers, the mentors, the support staff there. If, I'd like to ask if we can get that. So that we can see how over the years, what's changed in the
What
LCAP.
has been added? as
What
we-
has been added and kind of highlights. If, I know it's more work, but I think, because we get told all the time, wow, the LCAP is the same thing. And
That
and
would
I
be
think
good.
we have made changes.
That would be good, a good way of presenting how it has transpired throughout the years.
And then just have it translated the same time that the English comes out, because I know that's the other thing is why did the English come out before the Spanish? So if they can come out together, great. I think that'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Redondo. Ms. Vargas?
Yeah, I have I guess, twofold question. I'm curious to know what strategies are we doing that we're implementing to have the LCAP accessible in Spanish for our monolingual Spanish speakers? And I guess the second question is, how are we leveraging the partnerships that you spoke about in the plan to reach parents and families that maybe haven't participated in the past?
So yes, that is why we're excited about meeting with the entities on March 21st, because that will be a great opportunity. If they haven't already participated, they still have a little over a week to encourage their members to participate. But I know that we also, all of us are overseeing different focus groups, and we're meeting with them as well, aside from the advisory committee. So for example, I oversee DPAC, and so I meet with them on March 7th. So I will share with them this plan on March 7th so that they're not waiting until they hear from the advisory committee on March 21st. And so all of us as directors with the Net Services, we all have our groups and our committees that we're presenting this. So like Dr. Gutierrez would be sharing this with DLAC. I know that we have some of our members that meet with CBTA. And so we would be getting this out to them so that they could encourage that participation, as well as it doesn't have to be that you're a part of that entity. Anyone can. So again, it would be on our social media, on our website, and we would promote that.
And I guess the other question that I know we brought up in the past, like the fact that the plan's not available in Spanish. So what strategies are we doing? I like to, maybe if we haven't thought about it, I really like to see what are we planning? What's our strategy to do so?
Okay, so I know now that the county does provide a template that already has the Spanish embedded. So what we add are what is specific to our district. So that is something that has progressed that wasn't necessarily all in place before. So now that we have a timeline, we worked our way backwards, right? Now we know exactly what deadlines we have to meet. And so I think we're in a better place. I feel more confident that we're in a better place to have those completed as we reach each of those milestones that I just outlined.
Okay. Yeah, I think I like to see, as we're going through this timeline, just keeping that kind of in mind, as you know, has been brought up a number of times, not just by board members, but by residents. And I think our third goal is really engaging parents and family. And I know language is a huge barrier for them to participate. So, but yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Garcia, you have anything?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to apologize to the board. The way the tables are set up, the crescent should probably be the other way so I could see you guys, but it's kind of bowed this way, so I can't see you. So bear with me. But yes, Ms. Garcia, please.
I just want to let the rest of the board know that the last LCAP meeting, we did have translation services ready and available. They weren't utilized, but they were there and available for anyone who needed them. So that was awesome to see.
Ms. Paz, you guys are gonna have to throw paper at me or something to get my attention because I can't see you. But Ms. Paz, I'm sorry.
Yes, no, you called on me earlier and I wasn't gonna, because I sometimes sound like a broken record, but on the LCAP in particular. But one of the things that I I'm going to be looking for, as I mentioned last year, is like the equity and how we're equitably distributing dollars. What we've seen in the past is that even though the concentration and supplemental funds, right, are being generated by our students, second language learners, foster, low income, our programs, or just where we're spending those concentration dollars, when you look at percentages, like we see very minimal going to the target audiences. And I did request that that changes and that we become more intentional about targeting our resources, particularly the supplemental and concentration funds, to really supplement and concentrate the opportunities for the target populations.
Wonderful. Graciela, thank you for your thoroughness. Since I've been on the board, I've heard the board say, we need more thorough description of what we're doing with our LCAP dollars. And then we have a real lengthy document, and then I hear the board say, hey, we need a simpler way to understand the document, right? And so it's that juggling act, right? And I think for the most part, we kind of follow a pattern of what we did the year before. And I think what you're hearing from the board, or at least what I'd like to convey, is that it'd be really nice to get creative with some of these resources, and maybe partnerships with, whether it be an art nonprofit or an educational nonprofit, maybe looking at how we can collab to really get these resources into the community. But, you know, I thank you for your thoroughness. I know it's not easy to do this just based on the narrative that I hear people, hey, it's too lengthy of a document. Oh, no, that we want more detail. And it's just that constant act of going back and forth. Thank you for the report, and we look forward to seeing you down the road here. Moving on to item 9.1. I believe this is where we're choosing, or we're deciding whether we want to vote for only our president as a representative to the School Board Association. Dr. Valentino, this is the California School Board Association 2023 Sub-Region 1BA Delegate Assembly election. Maybe we can have some discussion. Mr. Acuna, do you?
I'd like to make a motion to accept this and add the name, with an amendment to add the name of the Don Escalarza Toledo to the slate.
Wonderful. So basically, we're voting for the 5 that are listed, and we're adding Mr. Toledo to the 6th position, and we're voting for all of them. That's your motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I hear a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We're 6-0 today? Yes, 6-0 today. Wonderful. Dr. Valentino, this is a resolution or an action to adopt a board resolution 2023 30 authorizing meetings of the Board of Education to be conducted in teleconference pursuant to Assembly Bill 36-1 AB 361. What are the wishes of the
So
board?
moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nobody opposed. Motion carries. Item 9.3, Dr. Valentino, adopt board resolution number 2023-31 to remunerate trustee Jesus Gonzalez.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain. Thank you. Moving on to item 10. Antoinette Gutierrez requesting approval of out-of-state travel for 3 migrant service staff members to attend the 2023 National Association of State Directors on Migrant Education Conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico on April 30th to May 3rd, 2023. I motion to approve.
The second.
I have a motion and a second. All those signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Item 10.2, Michael Boomer requesting approval to purchase tables, chairs, and furniture for Coral Mountain Academy.
So moved.
I have a motion. I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10.3, Israel Olivares requesting authorization to award bid 100-22-23 E-rate year 25 category 1. Category 1 wide area network services and internet service provider services to the lowest responsible bidder, Zito West Holding LLC. What are the wishes of the board on this?
So move.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 11, under action items, it looks like John Stout John authorized to purchase 3 Ford F-250 trucks for maintenance and operation department. What are the wish? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who's the motion?
You motion, I
Okay,
second.
I'll motion and you second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Action item, John Stout authorizing the purchase of a Chevrolet 250 truck for maintenance and operation department. Do I have a motion?
So move.
I have a motion. I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 11.3, Armando Asuna authorized the purchase of 8 white fleet transit passenger vans. Do I have a motion?
So move.
I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I just want to make sure that, I happen to have traveled on some of the, we have one van right now here at CV that the hood looks like it's going to open at any minute. So hopefully we can get that replaced and one of these vans can be used for the smaller athletic groups like tennis and golf. I think we need to do something with that van. Honestly, they went up to Big Bear the other day and then they were in LA and it seems like the hood wants to fly open. So hopefully we can replace that van. Item 11.4, Armando Asuna authorizing to issue a purchase order to repair and replace the diesel fuel dispensing at the transportation department.
So move.
I have a motion. I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 12.1, Ms. Denise Ellis, approval of MOU between CVUSD and CVTA regarding Narcan use in the district.
So move.
I have a motion. Anybody second that?
I second that.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 12.2, Dr. Denise Ellis, approval of the MOU between CVUSD and CSEA Chapter 109 regarding Narcan use in our district.
So move.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second that.
I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Is there a question? Like something, Mari, like.
No.
Okay.
Moving on with the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be acted upon in one motion. There will be no discussion on these items prior to the time of the board consideration. The motion, unless members of the board staff request specific items to be considered separately. The superintendent, assistant superintendent of educational services, assistant superintendent of business and finance, and assistant superintendent of human resources recommend the approval of the consent calendar. Does anybody want to move anything or consider an item separately on the consent calendar?
I motion to accept staff's recommendation and approve the consent calendar
I'll second it.
with any request to remove any items.
There you go. Yeah, that was pretty lengthy. Yeah, so basically we have a motion to approve the consent calendar, respecting anybody's wishes to pull any items. Do we have anybody wishing to pull an item? So I second it. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar?
Aye.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nobody, motion carries. Can I get a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
So move.
I have a motion. I'll second it. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have, oh no, yeah, we're done. I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you all for being here today. It was eventful. Thank you.